Hello everyone, welcome to Real Tech Talk, where we can't figure out any fucking sound issues that we have prior to coming on. That's right, we're an absolute set of melts, but we've managed to sort it. So we are here for the England preview against Slovenia. We've got an interesting panel on today. We've got me, Sam, Alex and Dan. Dan is, I would probably suggest, more of a Portugal fan than he is an England fan, but again, you can correct me if I'm wrong in that context. Are we rooting for Portugal, Dan, this tournament?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all parts clear. So you have seen the last game, like how we are playing.
Okay. So if England reaches the final and Portugal was in the final, do you want Portugal to win? I'm gonna ask you a difficult question here.
Yeah, Portugal.
Yeah. Say it with your chest, man. Don't worry about it. Say it with your chest. Now, lads, the last time we were sat here, it was relatively optimistic, but we had a couple of concerns going into the Denmark game. Now we've had a little bit of time to kind of digest that result, and obviously the last group game is upon us against Slovenia. How are we feeling now? Sam, I'll go to you first, and then I'll go to Alex.
We suspected that it'd be the same team, and it was. We expected a similar result, and it was. It's the exact same performance, wasn't it? Score an early goal, sit back, and allow them to come on to us, and then we conceded because of Denmark, because they're a slightly better team than Albania are. And heading into this one, if you think anything's going to change, I think you might need your head examining, because I don't see anything that maybe I'll rephrase that. I see one thing changing, and I'll get into what it is later on.
Southgate's undies, shit his cack from the last fucking game.
Honest God, it's the most unimaginative side and manager in the world, isn't it? There's just no design for you've said it, Nick. He's ready salty crisps. He is unbelievably boring. It's so boring.
Yeah, and the ones you get from Aldi as well, not even Walkers. He's just he's no inspiration whatsoever. Is hugely boring. But when you go to the actual team in itself, Alex, I think balance is a massive issue that we all seem to keep talking about and we all seem to keep mentioning, but Southgate just doesn't want to do anything about it. And apparently, according to reports that are coming out in the past 24 hours, he's thinking Conor Gallagher is the answer to our problems. So, what are your thoughts on that?
That's what we said. That's what I said last time. I said if he does eventually, because he's obviously deciding, I'm sticking to my guns, I'm playing this way, and Trent's playing there, and that's that. But now, literally everyone, every pundit, every player, is saying that this experiment has failed and we need to give it up. But I said last time that it'll be Gallagher who comes in. Gallagher's the one who's been coming on, not Mainu, not Wharton. It's Gallagher, and it's going to be same old, because it's like he's sticking to his guns, and it's not going to take us very far if he does, basically.
Yeah, if you think Conor Gallagher's the answer to your problems, I'd love to know the fucking question. Would love to know that. Dan, when you watch other teams like France, Spain, Austria, Germany, even Netherlands at times as well, you don't quite get the same feeling, do you? Again, I don't know how much of England you've watched this tournament, but you don't get the same feeling, do you, when you see the amount of talent that's on the pitch? You've got other teams performing a lot better in this tournament.
Yeah, before speaking anything, I would just like to clear everything out. Like, even though Portugal is my first priority, but then the second team I support is England.
Yeah.
So I'm still there in the
panel. Before you get any threatening DMs in you. Yeah. Just clear the water, probably best.
I'm still reliable.
Yeah.
So but the thing is, when I watch the game of other strong teams like France, Germany, I see they have the dominance, but with England, with all the players, the set of players we have, before the tournament, it was like they are favorites for this cup. But then when you have seen this couple of games, it seems like they are like, the relegation zone team. But so I think the thing is, like, with all the players to players, if you see against any team, I think England would be the better one, player to player. But if you see in the last game against Denmark, it seems like it was Denmark against Denmark. So the hype of Denmark is not that much as compared to England.
Yeah.
But still seems like in the stats wise they were more comfortable, and the possession was similar. So there was nothing on the pitch that you can say that in this department England were better. So I don't know what needs to be changed, but definitely something has to be changed in the midfield because you see that pivot is not working out. I mean, that pivot is not giving you the dominance against the opponent. And I'm really not fan of Arnold playing in the midfield. I'm not sure whether how much effective he is, but you can definitely play a more midfielder kind of a player like in Mino and other players, and that will give you more stability. And you can see that in the previous games, like the more attacks that we are facing is from the wings, and people are able to make so many crosses from the wings, and we are unable to stop them. So I think definitely something has to change otherwise, because this is the only group which is wide open. I mean, every team has a chance to qualify. So this is going to be a very, I mean, interesting game tomorrow.
Yeah. In fairness, I think there's the other one with Belgium.
Yeah.
Who else is in that? Ukraine, where they're all on 3 points, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And that looks like an interesting kind of pot of finger. But in similar respects to Belgium as well, they've been underwhelming. I know they beat, who was it the other day? 2-0, but the Romania had a good go at them. It weren't like, they weren't as equal as a lot of people may have thought. So I think there's been a couple of teams that have been really underwhelming. And it's interesting you mentioned we play like relegation fodder, because we've got an Everton fan who's currently on the show in a minute. So he would probably know all about what that's like.
Can I stick up for Everton? Because if it weren't for the points deductions, they'd be 10th. Like, do you know what I mean? Let's
comfortably mid-table.
Yeah.
If wishes were fishes, the whole world would be an ocean, mate. So yeah.
They are.
I'm joking.
Everton fans are going to come for you in the comments.
Well, they can. Yeah. Don't worry about it. Well, they're going to come for us more when we take Brantford and Onana off the hands. There'll be a lot more fuming then. So
you can happily take Onana. You're not getting Brantford.
Oh, happily take it. That's interesting. Maybe we'll circle back to that towards the end of the show. Sam, I want to talk about Luke Shaw, because apparently he's been back training with the team again, finally fit, according to reports.
How long?
That was one of the questions. And also, would you risk it?
No. As a United, selfish United fan, I don't want him to play a single minute. I don't want him to train anymore. Send him the fuck home. Call up a left back. I don't care who it is. Just call up somebody who can play left back. I don't care who it is. Just whoever. I don't want him to play a single minute as a selfish United fan. If I put myself in the England mindset where I don't support United, you've got to hope that he's somewhat fit and you can play him, because Trippier on that side, the one thing Trippier has, he's got a fantastic right foot and he can put a cross in. And you're playing him at left back. So he's just ineffectual, essentially. You need him at right back, but obviously he's not going to get in at right back because you've got Kyle Walker. So you're not going to replace him with Kyle Walker, are you? So it is what it is. So you hope as an England fan that he is fit and he can play to get this win over Slovenia and get us through to the next thing, and then he can be fit for the future games. If you're thinking like Southgate, and if I think like Southgate, I think my brain might switch off. So I'm going to try not to do that for too long. But you got to think, don't risk him for this game, because you're going to get through the group, I assume. You need him for the bigger games, so give him more time. So don't risk him for this game, and just see if you can change other stuff and tweak tactically, if he's even capable of that, and just try and get through that game without Shaw. And then
what are tactics?
Yeah, exactly. Gets his book out, Tactics for Dummies.
Yeah.
What's 4-4-2?
Sit deep, compact.
I think, don't risk him for this game, because you're going to need him for the likes of France, Germany, Netherlands. That's where you're going to need him. So if he gets an extra week or a couple of days off to train, get his fitness back up and make sure he's okay, that's the way you've got to go. I don't know if you want to touch on tactically what you want to do, or are you waiting for later, but I've got an idea.
No, dive into it. If you've got an idea, fucking fly at it.
I think the way to do this is a back three with Gahey, Walker, and Stones.
Yeah.
I think that's how you do it. You go back three, because Walker can then come out to the right, and so Gahey, he's a left-sided centre-back, so he can go that way and play that way. Stones can come into the midfield, and then you play your two double pivots. You play Rice, and you play Mainu, and you have Bellingham marauding on. You get Gordon on the left, because you need width, because Foden he's not going to do it. If you're going to play Harry Kane, you have to have width and you have to have runners. You cannot, if you're not going to play Harry Kane, then you can have Phil Foden. But if you're going to play Harry Kane, which we assume he's going to play because he's the captain, so he's probably going to start, you have to play with runners and width. So I'd do back three, Mainu, Rice. You would have you choose. You could then maybe play with inside the channel with Saka, because I know he can play that way, but then he can give you a bit of width as well. And you put Gordon, and you have to play that way because I don't think you can do it any other way and get the advantage that you have with Harry Kane and the advantage that you have with playing Kyle Walker, because otherwise you're just going to be lopsided completely, because you're going to be cut off on the left-hand side because Foden's not going to run in behind Harry Kane. Trippier can't play left-hand side because the only good thing he's good at is the right-hand side with his right foot. You just hamstrung yourself. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to play the exact same team, and he's just going to stick Gallagher instead of Trent. And he's going to do the exact same team.
Who's going to be wing backs in that team?
Well, that's what I was about. I was wondering about.
Gordon works his ass off, doesn't he? Gordon works his ass off. Like, he plays, like you see, he runs his ass off for Newcastle. So I'm sure he can do a defensive capability when you're out of possession. But I don't think you're going to be out of possession for that much against Slovenia. Like, they've got, what, 2 good players? Sesko, who's a doubt, and then Oblak. That's their 2 best players. So there's not much worry from Slovenia. This is less of a dangerous game than it is against Denmark and against... who the fuck is the first team we played? Did we play first?
Serbia.
Serbia, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Serbia are more dangerous than Slovenia. So I think you can get away with this risk and play it that way. And then obviously then when Shaw is back fit, you can then go back to your back four with Shaw and Walker as your wing backs bombing on and coming back. But to get through this game, that's what I would do. Alex,
I'll bring you in on this. How would you approach that tactically? Because I personally, I know you're not saying you would see him do it, Sam. I know you're saying he'll go to the finger. I personally could never see him doing it.
No, he's never doing it.
Switching in the group stage for the last game to a back five. I don't think it would work personally for me. But how would you go about it, Alex?
I'm not sure about, like, I do get where you're coming from, Sam, and you do make some good points. But throwing in Gordon to play a position that he's never played, I'm not sure. Like, in a big tournament as well, he's not really played that much for England. I was thinking with the 3-man defence, if he does have the bottle about him to actually say, right, my plan here hasn't really worked. My experiment, as what it keeps getting called, hasn't worked. But then, do you then play 3 at the back with then wing backs, and then do you then keep Trent in the team, but just put him as a right wing back? And because we all know what a crosser he is, what a passer he is. Is he not a guy who would work well with Kane? Everyone's talking about Kane. Everyone's talking about Trent. You know what I mean?
So you put Trent at right wing back?
I probably would, yeah. If we're playing Walker as part of the back 3, I mean, that's what Trent does at Liverpool, doesn't he? That's what he's known for. That's what he's good at.
But the issue I take with the system in itself is, and Dan, I'll bring you in on it in a second. You're going to take out one of the attacking players anyway because you're going to a back 5, right? So Walker's going to drop into the defence, and then you're going to push Trent out wide. So then you're going to play, I don't know, let's say, for example, Mainu, Bellingham, and Rice as your kind of trio. Then you're going to drop Saka, Foden, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know how you do that.
Foden, you could drop. Has Foden been effective in any game? I'd say no.
He's not, but he's never going to drop Foden.
He did nearly score, though, when he hit the post.
Yeah. But that's it. Yeah. For the most part, he's not been effective at all. So I wouldn't have an issue dropping Foden, in all honesty.
No, I get it.
Unless you play him in the 10. Unless you play him in the 10, which you won't, because Bellingham's going to play there.
You drop Bellingham.
The only way you get Foden and Bellingham in the same team is if you put Bellingham in the 8 and then Foden in the 10. But he's not going to do it. Yeah. Like, he won't do it.
He's just not. No.
But I think that's unbalanced as well. I think that'd be naive to do that, personally.
Yeah, against Slovenia? Come on.
Slovenia. No, I would.
I don't think
if people say against Slovenia on the counter-attack, if you watch them against Denmark and watch them against Serbia.
But their one outlet is Sesko, and he's a doubt at best. So
I think the other striker's been good.
He might not even play. And I think defensively, we've looked all right.
Against England, anything will be good.
What do you say? Yeah, it's a good point. Again, add on to what you think tactically as well, and certain players, and what you've thought about England. But I want to ask you about Harry Kane on top of that, because he received a lot of criticism after the Denmark match. Obviously, we've watched him quite a lot in the Premier League. He's moved over to Bayern. Do you think the criticism is warranted of Harry Kane? Have you been a little bit surprised by how kind of lacklustre he's been? in the tournament?
Yeah, he looked a little bit dull. I mean, not much involved in the game because
Yeah.
previously, I mean, you could have seen like Kane, maybe part of every move, he will have at least couple of touches. I mean, he'll drop back and he will receive the ball. But now I think he's dropping back, but still you find him without, I mean, without getting involved in the moves. And
Yeah.
that's where it is becoming like a concern. Like, I think that could be because of the players around him. I mean, the structure he is in. So yeah, it's total confusion, and I also agree with Sam regarding the Foden thing. I don't. I feel like with Foden, the situation around Foden is like what we have with Mount and Bruno because both of the players kind of play in the same position.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Foden, I feel like he's more. I mean, more. I think more kind of a useful player in the when you play him at number 10, but then you cannot change Bellingham because he's kind of you mount Bellingham every time near the box, and you can't I mean shift Bellingham towards the midfield area. So that's where I think the one of the problem is like we are having so many options. That could be one of the problems. You see, Cole Palmer is sitting on the
I know.
bench, and
Mad, isn't it?
you can't you are unable to involve him in this lineup as well.
Not a single
But
minute.
yeah,
No single
Minute.
minutes, Palmer. That is ridiculous.
Cole Palmer,
No.
the best player of Chelsea, Kobe Mino, one of the best player of Manchester United,
Yeah.
not getting minutes. So that's really, I mean, not good to see it happening. But the problem is Saka has to start because that's the only one of the, I mean, reliable right winger. And Kane cannot be replaced, and Bellingham always starts. And then the only thing that can be replaced is, I think, Foden. But with Foden, I think Anthony Gordon, I think he looked sharp, but then again, I'm not sure whether how much he is reliable to be starting the game. And I'm sure Southgate won't be doing that. But yeah, in order to change some things, you have to only do something around the Arnold because Alexander Arnold is the only one player whom you can change. And I mean, I'm saying from the perspective of Southgate. So I
Yeah.
think that's the only area where we can see the change. And I think Trippier and Walker will start always. Yeah.
Just on Harry Kane, and we'll move on to Slovenia in a moment, and then Alex or Sammy, the one of you can jump in on this. For me, it's obvious. I mean, I don't want to repeat what everyone's saying because it's just it is. He needs runners either side of him, right? And you talk about Rashford had a pretty bad season, yeah. Either him or even play Gordon because Gordon's there at the moment, or even Eze or someone like that. You know, you see him dropping deep and he receives the ball. There's just nothing. There's absolutely no options on for him whatsoever. And you know he's capable of playing that. Like, he's almost technical quality of De Bruyne. That's how good he is on the ball, Kane, at passing it. Yeah. So that makes no sense to me tactically. Like, oh yeah, Kane, you drop deep whilst we're all compact. And when you receive the ball, you look up. Foden's dropped in. Saka's, working hard defensively. So he's dropped in a little bit. It just... it's confusing. I don't understand it.
Look at Bayern Munich. Like, he scored a record amount of goals for Bayern Munich. Like, he beat Lewandowski's record, I think.
And assists, goal involvement,
yeah.
most in Europe.
What's he got around him? Musiala and Sane, making runs for him, just consistently.
Runners.
Just always just on the go, making those runs so he can get the ball into feet. He can play it out to them, get the 6 yards, snatch a goal, or he can be involved in play, putting a ball through for one of them because they're running inside. It's baffling that Southgate has got one of the best, most lethal strikers in Europe, and he's hamstrung him by having 0 people to do running. Like, he's not quick. If he wants to play the system he's playing, he shouldn't be playing Harry Kane. He should be putting Ollie Watkins because he'll do that run in behind. He'll have that ball and you run behind. But he's not going to drop Kane. So if you're not going to drop the player that's causing the issue, you need to change the system. It's one or the two. You have to pick one or the two. He's trying to have his cake and eat it. That's what he's trying to do at this point. And it's just frustrating because we all see it. And we're uneducated fans, right? We're not involved in coaching and stuff. And now every pundit has seen it and pointed it out. And they're having to go at Harry Kane for it. It's not Harry Kane's fault. It's tactical. Tactical. That's the fault.
I think you see that though. You know, when they interview the players and they ask him, like, they interviewed Kyle Walker after the game, and he was like, "What do you think about this?" He was like, "It's on the players. We think this. It's not. It's not." Because I'm telling you now, that amount of talent. You see other teams in the tournament that are dominating Alex in the thing, in terms of possession. They're all over him. Germany have looked fantastic, and we've got a better team individually than Germany. I think if you swap the managers around, you put Southgate in charge of Germany, and you put Nagelsmann in charge of England, I think you would see a dramatic change.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. It's just, I don't know. It's just, what can you say now? I think
Are you giving up? He's
he's.
done. He's done. If we lose to Slovenia, that'll be Alex won't return on the channel again.
Yeah.
He's just completely done.
No, well, it's just it is getting to that stage now, and it's bad. It's bad. I 100% agree with you. With
Yeah.
any sort of elite level manager would get us we'd be winning it with
Yeah.
no. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what to even
Yeah. You see what you've
suggest.
done, Southgate, to
You've
Alex. You've
broken
ruined
him.
him.
You've broken him.
Yeah, they've ruined him. Just a stat to perk you back up. England have an excellent historical record against Slovenia and have won 5 out of the 6 matches played between the two teams. Slovenia have never defeated England in an official encounter on the international stage. So there's me cursing it. Clip that up.
Yeah.
When Slovenia shock us and knock us out. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about Slovenia. Look, I'm not expecting you to be tactical experts and tell me what they're going to bring. But Dan, again, I don't know. I think Sam mentioned Sesko potentially being a doubt for the game. I haven't seen that personally, so I did have a question about Sesko. But what have you thought about him? Obviously, there was a lot of links to United, wasn't there? We wanted to sign him. Arsenal as well. Has he kind of stood out at all for you? Have you liked the look of him? Have you seen bits of him?
Yeah, I think at that time he was kind of a emerging player when his name was up in the air when United was going for him. So he was one of this. I mean, the potential player that we were going kind of like a Hoyland kind of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
We were all over it, and we also accepted that if he comes in, he can definitely change this team. But yeah, then he has gone to different team and not had lived up to that mark, up to my
Yeah.
up to my
In your opinion, you don't think
understanding.
he's the hype?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, we could have been. I mean, sensing it. He'll be kind of a top scorer. I mean, scoring a lot of goals, but it has not lived up to that mark. But surely could be the hype which he had at that time. But yeah, definitely. I mean, in these kind of games, he can definitely be a game changer,
Mm.
but not kind of a one-man show, but kind of a team player. Not that level of you can depend on one player and he can change the game. But as
Yeah.
a team player, I think yeah, he is really good. I mean, he has all the abilities that a striker should have. Uh, but yeah, on his day, he can change the game. I mean, but definitely not that much a danger for us, and at least in the recent times with the recent forms of this.
Also, clip that up as well if Sesko scores.
Bit
So I suppose it does.
Nick,
Go on.
breaking news from Southgate. Luke Shaw is not available against Slovenia. He's not ready yet. There you go.
I've given up on that anyway. I'm just do what you're gonna do, Southgate. Make it your last tournament, and then we'll look forward to the World Cup. Let's just fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just last thing on Sesko. Oh, there's an echo there. 1, 2. No, we're all right. Just the last thing on Sesko. I always feel like singing Thong Song when I say Sesko because it sounds like Cisco.
Yeah.
Just
Enter the
pop
dragon.
into my head.
Enter the dragon when he comes on.
Classic.
Yeah.
I can't remember what I was saying now. Yeah, it doesn't help. It doesn't help Sesko when you got fucking Barry the dentist at right back, does it? Like providing the assist or whatever. So he is in a Slovenian team that's pretty, average. He's been overperforming, I think, at the minute. Sam, you look at both of the games. Drew against Denmark, drew against Serbia. I think what we're going to see tomorrow, and again, I don't know if you agree with this. Did you watch Scotland last night?
Yeah.
They had all the possession, and then you just had like Hungary kind of counter attacking. I think you're going to see a similar game tomorrow. I think England will start to dominate a little bit more, struggle a little bit with carving out a finger, and then Slovenia on the counter attack.
Yeah, they're going to sit in. They're going to operate with a low block, and then they're just going to be like waiting to get a ball out to Sesko if he does play, and just try and provide long ball over the top and just try and get him in behind and things. As England get more desperate, if we don't score, England will get more desperate and push forward, and there'll be more gaps and stuff like that. However, if it goes a similar way of like the Denmark and the Serbia games and we score early, you're just going to see the same pattern. And then they're going to have to come out and play no matter what because they need to win in order to progress through to the tournament. So they're going to have to come out and do something because you know what England are going to do? We're going to score early and we're going to sit back and just get deeper and deeper and deeper until the fans are just absolutely losing their minds because we're not trying to dominate the game in any way, despite the fact that our team has got 10 times more talent than theirs, and we're just sitting back like we're the underdogs. It's crazy. yeah, I don't expect anything different from either team. But if we score early, you're gonna have to hopefully see something for Slovenia if you're a Slovenian fan, because you can't just rely on the counter if you're 1-0 down, because you know what England are gonna do. They're gonna sit back, so they're gonna have to come and play.
Alex, if we
when coming back to Sesko, I think he won't be that much of a threat because of the lineup. If Southgate goes with a similar kind of a lineup,
it's got no space to run into. So yeah, it will be all right.
In the area where Sesko plays, you have Alexander-Arnold, Walker, and then Stones. So all these players, 3 players, are kind of quick players, quick defenders. So I think Sesko will find it very difficult to barge in.
Yeah, Walker in particular, I would definitely agree with. Alex, nothing acceptable than a win in this one, right? Because if we draw the game, I believe we played Germany. Is that right? If we finish second in the group?
Yeah, I think so. Have they finished top now, Germany?
Yeah.
So they drew with
They
Switzerland,
drew.
didn't they?
No, they
Got the
won.
last
Did they
bit.
win?
Yeah, late draw.
No, I
It was a
thought they
late
drew.
draw.
Oh, it was the
wasn't it? I think
Hungary.
they were losing, and then
It was the Hungary game that was the late
Hungary.
win, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Hungary won
Scotland.
last,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
it?
yeah.
I was celebrating
Germany
it.
are top.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck the Tartan Army. Muppets.
That was such a terrible game, wasn't it? Terrible 90 minutes, and then
It's like
kind of
that
like
fucking watching.
exciting added time.
Just
Side
heartbreak.
to side,
Scott-
side to side.
You could just, you know that moment in The Simpsons where he goes, you can actually see the moment his heart breaks and he's like, just looking at the Scotland fans and they're just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. You knew it was coming, weren't you?
Yeah.
You just like,
Yeah,
it was just
sure.
inevitable, man.
It really was.
Talk about lighting a Sunday up. Love that.
Yeah,
No,
it was.
But yeah,
But I can see the game being like that, to be honest. The England game being very similar.
Yeah.
Like you say. Especially if we're not changing it, if we're playing if he is sticking to his guns or whatever, then that is the way it's gonna go. They're set up with like a 4-4-2 Serbia, proper old school fucking 2 ranks of 4.
Slovenia.
Slovenia, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Pretty much the same thing, really. It's just going to be compact, hard to beat.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the blueprint, in it, for a lot of the lower teams.
Yeah, definitely. Because that's how they have to do it. Like when you think back to like Greece and teams like that, they can upset you. There's like Albania playing Spain tonight, and that could be like even Albania have got a chance. Do you know what I mean?
Even France with all the talent they've got, are setting up in a pretty pragmatic fashion and just taking on the counter attack because they've got the quick players.
Deschamps has won everything for them, but he still gets very similar criticism that Southgate gets.
Spain's abandoned their style as well. Like it's not tiki taka anymore. It's not like the one that's not who Spain are anymore. Like it's very. You got 2 wingers now. You've got Yamal and you've got Nico Williams, and they're playing via wingers.
Yeah.
They're playing to the strengths, which is what we should be doing. Like, do you know what I mean?
Anyway, we'll move it on because I don't want you to get more and more depressed as the show gets on. Trying it on a brighter note if we can. Who's your ones to watch in this one, lad? It's just a quick one. Dan, I'll go to you first. Who's the one to watch in this game, do you think?
I think again Bellingham.
Okay. Sam?
I'm hoping I'll for the sake of. Yeah, no, don't watch him. I'd rather watch paint dry. But I think if he plays a winger in Gordon, I'd say keep an eye on him, or Eze, whoever he hopefully plays on the left instead of Foden.
For the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Alex, who's the one to watch in this game? Harry the dentist?
It's such a terrible question, though, isn't it, really, to answer, like, because...
I thought you said a terrible question in general, then. I was like, oh,
sorry,
no,
this for you.
Fuck your questions, Dick.
I'll just get me back in the
question.
You finish the show.
Let's just call it now.
Yeah.
No, it's just I don't know, because there's just no like positivity. I think really that's the whole nation has been fucking drained of it from these first 2 games.
Drained like my skin because I look so pale on this camera at the minute. That's what Southgate's done to me. Yeah.
But I agree with like the Gordon show. I'm not too sure about Eze if he's the guy. But I think again he's more of a number 10. Who I don't.
He's a trickster, innit? He's a Saint Maxim off the bench. I think that kind of. Yeah, if you need to unlock a defense and do that, but.
Isn't it amazing how we've got 0 depth in so many areas? We've got no centre backs hardly. We've got no left backs. We've got
left
no
backs,
actual. We've got
no
one
left
actual,
wingers.
two actual wingers in Saka and
Yeah.
Gordon. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like this is ridiculous.
How can you, when you are announcing the team, how can you see like 3 right backs and only 1 left back, that too in Luke Shaw? I mean,
Yeah.
And he's not
doesn't
fit.
make
You picked one left back who's not fit. Like, what are you doing?
It
Like,
is
what?
weird, isn't it? Yeah. And if you're going to take ones who are more like utility players like Joe Gomez and Konsa, what's the point of them being there either? Because it's like, well, you be a backup. Trippier's got a little bit of a niggle. It's like, no, we'll just play. We'll wait for Shaw to get his fucking shit together, and we'll wait for Tripp. Like, I don't know. Anyway, we'll do some quick fire questions to try to lighten up the mood a little bit. I'm going to go with Harry Kane for my ones to watch. I think he's going to bag a brace tomorrow, so remember me saying that.
Nice.
Right.
Nice shot.
Quick fire. If England don't win anything major with this team, would it be more of an upset than the golden generation?
Yeah.
It probably is, to be honest.
Yeah. They say styles make matches. Who would you least want to play? So let's pretend we're all England fans, and one of us isn't a Portugal fan. Who would you least want to play in the Euros at the moment? Watching how we play, who do you think would be our like kryptonite?
Austria. I think they'll run circles around
Press
us.
the life out of us. Yeah.
Just
Press
absolutely,
right.
they'll just play circles around us, and we'll get so dizzy, and they'll absolutely destroy us. It's like watching Pep play against any lower team. Like they just pass them to death, and they just eventually get bored and give up. Like that's what.
And they actually play vertical passes as well,
Yeah,
rather
exactly.
than fucking
But
side to side.
it's
Play through you.
Austria is a fucking nightmare for us. Absolute nightmare.
Yeah. Alex, you want to echo that, or do you want to go with someone else?
I definitely agree, but I think Spain are looking good. Germany are looking
Spain
good.
was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Would not want to play them at the minute.
No, not at all.
Like
So-
who's plays on? So if it's Trippier, it'd be the right. Lamal versus Trippier. I could just see like a bit of a rinse in there. To
Talk
be
about
honest
with
with you.
Williams as well. They just
Yeah.
both.
Okay, that's interesting. Dan, are you gonna say Portugal?
No, Germany. Because I know about Portugal. They will just do a poor form in at least one game. You'll see them playing like a high level and then suddenly goes down. I know that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, to answer your question, I think Germany.
Germany as well. Yeah, I think they look good under Nagelsmann. Musiala is just, oh my god, what a guy! What a
But
guy!
that
what a
full
player.
that Fulkrug man, he comes in clutch,
Fulkrug's
doesn't he?
amazing,
Every
man.
time they bring him
Yeah,
on,
big
he
time.
fucking bags.
Big
Like,
time.
Yeah.
good
And
player.
this is
Yeah,
a 31-year-old, who's 32-year-old who's done relatively well, in the German league. We've got fucking Harry Kane, who's the top scorer in that league, and we can't even get a tune out of him. It's embarrassing. Last 2 quick fire questions. Who's the best player on the bench for England?
It probably is Palmer, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palmer and Mainu, they're the two.
Can't get him in it. We're always going to say Mainu, just because. Yeah, we love him.
I've got to mention Mainu.
He's a
'cause
very good player.
I think he deserves more minutes. I think you need to give a shout to Patrick Wharton as well. Why the fuck is he took him?
Eh?
What is the point?
Patrick Wharton? Who the fuck
Adam.
is that?
Is it Adam?
Adam
I thought his
Watt.
name was Patrick. I don't know why I got Patrick.
Patrick?
I don't know where
I don't know why I've
Patrick
got.
of EastEnders?
Yeah,
Who the
I don't know
fuck
why I
is
got
that?
I don't know where I got Patrick from. Yeah,
That's the
why,
clip sorted.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Why is he took him? Why is he there? Like, what is the point?
We
He
should
should've
have
took-
about
he
bloody
should've took-
Calvin Phillips. The whole Calvin Phillips replacement, man.
Oh, that
He should have
line.
took Adam Wharton, not
Adam Wharton.
Patrick Wharton.
Yeah, take
Took
Adam
his
I
brother.
reckon,
He took his brother.
instead of Patrick. Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
hilarious.
why is he on the bench? I don't understand. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, you've got Mainu, Gallagher in front of him, and it's like, why is he playing?
You've got Alan Mainu, Steve Palmer.
I want to know how my brain has put Patrick in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's that come from?
Patrick Stewart, maybe
I
you're
don't-
thinking of.
I don't know. I don't know
Patrick
what.
Patrick Swayze.
No. I don't know where Patrick's come from.
Well, if anyone knows where Patrick has come from, please do let us know in the comments. I would agree with Cole Palmer, though. I think
I think
I
I'm having,
think
a,
it's England's
I think
best
I'm having
player.
a stroke. I think that's what's happening.
Heat stroke, potentially. Yeah. Prediction for man of the match, lads, tomorrow.
I think the dry one.
like
I think
Kane.
2-1 England.
No, not score predictions, Dan. Man of the match.
Dad's giving up as well. Dad's like, I'm fucking done with this.
Did you say 2-1, Dan, then?
Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah,
3-1.
prediction for man of the match, not score prediction. But we've got it already, so there's Dan's. We'll go early on that one.
Yeah.
We'll go Alex first, then Dan, then Sam. Man of the match, Alex, for tomorrow.
I'll go Harry Kane.
Okay, I agree. Dan?
Bellingham.
Bellingham?
Yeah.
Sam?
Patrick.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was going from the smirk on your face instantly. Can we all in unison...
Kyle Walker. I'll pick Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker, okay. Can we all in unison agree it's going to be the same team, just with Gallagher in the midfield?
Yeah.
Yeah, do we all think that?
Yeah.
I think so.
I'd probably agree
He's
with
not.
that
He's
as well.
not. He's not dropping Foden. He's not dropping Bellingham. The only guy I could see is Trent being dropped. I can't see anything else.
Just a
What do we
general
think in
question.
the chat? People get in the comments, smash a like on the video as well for us. What score predictions? Get them involved. Sorry, Dan, you saying?
Yeah, just a general question. Would you have preferred Grealish over Foden? That space?
On the left-hand side,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were suggesting, obviously, because of the season that he had, very similar to Rashford, a little bit underwhelming. They understood at the time why they shouldn't take him. But when you look at a profile of winger that you want to, even if you want to bring off the bench, I think Grealish could have offered something. When you need a foul or a set piece in the final third, or you need to open up some spaces for other players, Grealish is perfect for that. So I would have took either one. Like, I'm not just being like biased with Rashford. I would have took Rashford. I would have took Grealish just for a different, something different.
Well, Grealish got to change it like when he came on again. What was it? Was it Bosnia in the warm-up game?
Yeah.
He created the goal pretty much, like. So
I think people would have damned Southgate if he took Rashford or Grealish. When he was like, why are they going? They're not being on form and stuff. So
that narrative would have been
surprised if both
favourites.
of them went, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
I do think there was a case for one or the other, and I probably would have leant towards Grealish, but you could understand a fight for between both of them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think definitely, like, you can question it at the start because you don't know how he's going to set up. You don't know what he's going to tweak or change. Now we've watched him twice in the groups. Then you can turn around and go, why is Marcus Rashford not in that team? That's what I think. I'm not saying he's a United player, genuinely.
I think if you have Rashford on the bench and then it's 1-1, 15 minutes to go against Denmark, and you bring him on, I think Harry Kane scores a goal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm convinced
or gets an assist.
I'm convinced of it. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah, I really want to see, and this is like, I wouldn't even be happy with just beating Slovenia tomorrow. I want to see him slap Slovenia tomorrow. I think they should do with the players that they've got, because then you set the tone then going into the knockout stages for the rest of the teams that are in. I think whoever it is who we play, they're going, oh shit, now they've finally turned up. They've turned that volume up. If they go into it and have the same performance that they did against Denmark and against Serbia, the team's going to be looking at England. There's going to be no fear factor whatsoever, because they're going to be like, they're not the same. They're not that team that everyone's fucking putting them on this pedestal. They're not playing nowhere near that. So teams will almost be like, we could probably get something against them if they continue to play the way they are. So I don't know. I'm worried about that game. Should we do score predictions then? Dan, you've already done yours. What did you say? 2-1? Was it? 2-1. To Slovenia or England? Just to clarify. England. Okay. Alex.
Oh God, I want to be positive. I would like you. I want
Go
to
with
see
your heart.
A 2 or 3. 3-0. It should be 3-0, shouldn't it? Like, it's not even just your heart; it's your logic. Like it should be, but it's going to be 1-0, innit? And it's going to be Kane.
Yep.
With 15
Penalty,
minutes
probably.
to go, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. I could really see that, a 1-0 win. Penalty. No yellow cards. No corners. Just a ball in play for a full fucking 90 minutes. Just watch it being recycled until Kane falls over himself. Oh, Sam.
Exactly.
Usually that's when they're showing a positive, but I don't think you're going to fucking cook anything positive up.
No, it's going to be 1-0. We're going to score before 25 minutes, and then we're going to sit back and just defend for the next another half. Like, that's what's going to happen. Slovenia will have a couple of chances where you're like, oh shit. And then he'll make some changes about 70 minutes and try and look like he's affecting the game. That's what he'll do.
Jarrod Bowen will come on again.
Yeah, Jarrod Bowen. Yeah. And then he might
Palmer.
Maybe Mainu comes on for like 5 minutes, like 85th minute.
He should be fucking starting, man.
Yeah.
He should be fucking starting, honestly. Joke. Right, I'll read the last few comments before we head off. Of course, we've got Italy and Croatia kicking off in 15 minutes' time, so I don't want to hold you for too long. Dino saying, yeah, bring Mainu home and Shaw. I wonder if you could have a private chat with Mainu. He would laugh at Southgate as a Manchester United manager. Swiss versus Germany wasn't much better either, I thought. I didn't watch that game, so I actually don't know what went on in that.
I had them both. Swiss looked good, looked really, really good. And then that Fulcro came on and changed the game for them, and they ended up getting that late equaliser. Like, Swiss looked good for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Steph saying big up Real Reds talk. Big up Dino and everyone else. So it's big up people in the chat. My favourite team to watch so far has been Ralph's Austria. I agree, right? And Dan,
100%.
sorry to think with this. Me and you got ridiculed for saying we like Ragnick. Do you remember? We were saying it at the time. Both of us were like, everyone was like, what the fuck you on about? Interim. I was like, listen, that guy was going into a sinking ship. Like, no one could have fucking, God himself couldn't have done anything with that. So the fact of what I saw, what he was trying to do, and what I'd seen with his other teams, I was impressed by him. I thought he's methodical. He knows about football. And we was both saying that, weren't we, at the time when he was at United? But everyone was just fucking grilling him. And it was like...
The press conferences alone were gold. Like, watching the press conferences, I was like, what is he going to say this week?
Open heart
like,
surgery.
Oh my God. I was like, I love this shit. This is so good.
Yeah. This is open surgery of the heart. He had a very... he's got a bit of a mad accent. The way Austria has been playing through the lines, has been refreshing. Yeah. 13 goals in 19 games for Germany, apparently, at the moment.
Impressive.
90s, Sam, be prepared to be stroked. 90s Italy striker. Anyone remember Christian Vieira?
Oh, yeah.
He was quality, Sam.
Absolutely. Yeah. I love Christian Vieira. Very, very good.
Southgate is the real-life England manager who likes Mike Bassett, would end up taking Lambert and Butler in the squad. Yeah. Okay.
Fancy.
Right.
I think
see Mike Bassett.
Yeah.
I don't get a reference.
I think Mike Bassett would be a better manager than Southgate, to be honest with you.
He takes two non-league players who are like 37 and 40 because they're called Benson and Edges because he's rating on a stick packet.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's amazing.
Not my kind of manager. Get him in. Yeah. Why not? Can't do much worse, can you? Spice it up a little bit. Right, we shall leave it at that. Thank you to everyone for the comments. Really, really appreciate it. Smash that like button. We're on 5,640 subs at the moment, so make sure you do, if you are watching this live or later on, click that subscribe button. Also, we had a members video drop at 12 o'clock, or half 12, I believe it was, about the next star to break out from our academy. That's me and Sam on that one. So if you haven't seen that yet and you are a member, please go check it. If you're not a member, click the join button next to the notification bell or the link in the description. Check us out on socials as well, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're absolutely everywhere, and it's a fast-growing community, and that's because of you guys. Thank you to Dan, Sam, and Alex. Appreciate every single one of you. And let's see what happens with that shit show tomorrow. Hopefully we'll go through, but I don't think any of us are expecting anything excellent, as you can see from Alex's wonderful face right there. So we'll go and watch Italy and Croatia, and we'll actually watch some proper football, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Yeah. Take it easy, people.
Peace.
See you in the next one.
Yes.